So again, my name is Cheryl Rigger and I work at the Dover Public Library, and I thank everybody for coming. And I especially want to thank our guest speakers tonight. At this point, Berta Lockhart and Danielle Lockhart are in the screen that we see on our screens, but very soon they might be joined by the head blacksmith, which is Doug Lockhart, their husband and father. And so they are going to talk to us about their family blacksmithing shop, which is located in Logan, Ohio, which is in the Hocking Hills. It's a beautiful setting, and they are going to just show us samples of all of the things that they make and talk to us about the exciting, actually, it's hot, I'm sure, but it's an exciting life of a blacksmith family and running the family business and meeting all the different people. And I just think we're in for a real treat. So sit back and relax. And Berta and Danielle, it is your time to shine. Thank you.
Hi. Thank you so much for having us. We're excited to talk about what we love to do. We are blacksmiths. This is my mom, and we are a full family of blacksmiths. And oh, yeah, this is my mom, Berta. I guess you won't know her as mom. But my dad, Doug Lockhart, has been blacksmithing for nearly 40 years now, and he is quite the artist. And I think anyone that meets him will gladly tell you that. And he's quite the character. He's always full of stories, and he loves keeping old trades alive, especially blacksmithing, since that's his passion. But yeah, he teaches us everything. Us kids, there's myself, and then I have a sister, older sister Anna, and younger brother Ben, which he's taller than me now. But and then my husband David is also working in the shop. So he teaches us everything he knows, and we're happy to eat up all the knowledge and information that we can. But I guess we can share a little bit about what we do. So we are decorative blacksmiths. So we do really a lot of custom work. But what we are really passionate right now about is our skillet line. We make hand-forged skillets. They're very similar to cast iron, but they're unique in a lot of different areas. So with cast iron, it's exactly like the name is. You pour iron into a cast, and then that's how you make your cast steel or cast iron skillets. But ours are quite unique because we hand forge them. So we press the bowl, and we have different sizes. We have 8-inch, 10-inch, and 12-inch, and okay, I guess I'll show the other ones. This is our 10-inch skillet, and we also have a griddle as well. So the last one I just showed you was the roaster, but this is the griddle. It's a little bit smaller of a depth. But the roaster has 2 handles. Yeah, but we have different sizes. So we have 8-inch, 10-inch, and 12-inch, and we have been perfecting these skillets for a little over 3 years now, and we can't say enough good things about them. They're lighter than cast iron, than most cast iron. Let's be clear, and they're extremely decorative. We rivet our handles on, so we do everything by hand, and the cool thing about the riveted handles is the heat transfer it takes a lot longer to transfer than with the cast iron. So it's really nice, and they also fit in your oven. So you can do just about anything you would do with cast, except these, they come pre-seasoned. They're not as porous as cast iron. The reason why cast iron is so loved, that the older cast iron, is because from generations passed down, the bottom of the skillets, the pores, so instead of being really ripply, deep pores, over time, as your grandmother and whoever else used your family heirlooms before you, scratched that surface and made it smooth. So the cool thing about ours is they are already a lot less porous, so they they season beautifully and become naturally nonstick much faster. So they're really neat, and we love our skillets. But alongside of that, we also teach classes, and that's another one of our passions, is of course passing on this love of blacksmithing. So we teach classes almost every Saturday. We try to have at least 3 classes, 3 Saturdays a month with classes, and those we top out at 14. We could do more, but it's just more one-on-one because we have a limited amount of instructors, but we usually teach around 12 students on our Saturday classes. So I'll tell you about our classes and slow down a little bit.
Wait, I want to say one thing that she forgets. She doesn't like to talk about herself.
Oh.
Danielle, she's now a Chamberlain because she got married, and she's also 9 months pregnant, and was also still teaching in the class, our classes every Saturday until her due date. But she also now owns our family business because she's the one that has spent most of the time with Doug in the shop. Our other kids, Anna and Ben Lockhart, do come and help us with classes. They come and help us with skillets and bigger projects when they can, but they have other jobs. Danielle and her husband, David, do this full time in the shop with Doug. So they're always here, always working in the shop and on our 84-acre farm. So not only is she the owner of our business, but she also already matches Doug's work. Anything he does, she can match it, and people can't tell the difference. So that's quite an exceptional talent that she's developed with such an amazing teacher. Doug is really a great teacher. And she, Danielle also, aspires not just to do blacksmithing, but she also she has a commercial sized greenhouse. So we have on our 84-acre farm, we don't do just blacksmithing. We have 2 big greenhouses. We have ducks, we have chickens, we raise our own chickens, and we have our own eggs, and we have duck eggs, and we have goats, so we have our own goat milk, we make our own breads, we make, we have horses. It's a really beautiful way to live. So we, are pretty self-sustained here. And Danielle does it all. She likes to do it all. And she follows Doug around like a puppy all the time, whatever he wants to teach her. He's an amazing teacher. Doug went to a Salem college in Salem, West Virginia, and he learned old trades. So that's where he realized that his passion for restoring things and old trades was really where he flourished. And he has continued with that passion since he was 17 in college. And so now all of our kids, he's passing on the torch, so to speak, with our kids. So now Danielle and Benjamin and Anna, and then now our son-in-law, David, and now we have, a little baby blacksmith that will be training here pretty soon, and she's a girl. So by the way, girls are incredible blacksmiths. For those of you that are watching, if you're a female and thinking I couldn't do it, or I'm a female, female blacksmiths are amazing because we think differently than men. We think with a different part of our brain, I think. Instead of getting a bigger hammer, you figure out different ergonomic ways to position yourself, or how to do it in a different manner than a guy would. So our work has more finesse, so to speak. And so Doug learned a lot from female blacksmiths when he was injured for a little while on his arm. That was the only time he was ever injured. And during that time, he learned a lot from female blacksmiths who he watched, and he actually made a video that we sell on our website also. It's entitled How to Swing a Hammer Like a Girl, because it's not meant, the title isn't meant in a disrespectful manner. It's actually a very respectful manner. If you read the backside, he has a lot of respect for women in the way that women use their brain in a different way than men. Instead of using your muscles, you use your brain more, and then your muscles work along with your brain, if that makes sense. And the second DVD he recorded is Hot Tips for the Blacksmith. And so that's the sequel to that. And hopefully he's trying to do a third one with riveting. of riveting. Danielle, if you want to take over with that.
Wait, let me finish about our classes.
Oh, yeah.
We teach beginner classes, and so they're all 8-hour classes. So we have a beginner 1-day 8-hour class on a Saturday. So it goes from 8 to 5, and we teach all of the basics. So if you can imagine spending a full day in a blacksmith shop and learning so much knowledge that I really can't express how far ahead you would be if you took one of our beginner classes. So that I definitely recommend them, not just because I'm biased, but we really do teach a lot in 8 hours. So once you take our beginner class, you can then take any of the intermediate classes that we offer. And so we do different intermediate classes. It kind of is just based around a single project for the intermediate classes. So we have a railroad spike knife class, and we have a tripod class for like outdoor cooking over a fire. It's really neat. And you make a fire poker as well. And then we have a pot rack, for hanging your beautiful skillets. And then we also do like bathroom sets and just a range. We have a bunch of different classes that we've taught already, but so anyway, you take that information from the beginner class and you can apply it to any direction you go in blacksmithing. It's really special. And I think the reason why people like our classes so much is, well, for one, you get to come here and experience this back to the ages way of living that we live. But also being in the shop, you get to use your hands, and a lot of people don't have that chance anymore. Either they live in the city and they don't have the space or the tools or whatever, maybe they want to experience it, but they just don't have the space. But so people enjoy bringing their families or their father or sisters. I don't know, anyone can come, and we have ranges. We start at age 12 and then all the way to however old you'd like to be.
We had a 96-year-old man that came from Canada one time. He got a gift certificate from his daughter, and he worked all day and loved it, and wants to come back again. So, people of all ages really do love this. And what brings us, we don't really advertise other than Facebook, our website, and word of mouth. Sometimes we get write-ups in magazines, or we're featured on TV or something on some like Spectrum One News just had us on. But really, word of mouth is how we get most of our students. And I think that there was an interest that was awakened by the TV show Forged in Fire, as most of you probably are aware of it. Most of our students in the last few years come because of that show. So we're grateful to that show for waking up an interest in people for an old trade such as blacksmithing. So we do get a lot of students because of that. And most of them walk in and the first thing they say is, can we make a sword, on the first day, which is really, they don't realize how much work a sword would be until they take our beginner class, where we make a series of hooks, various hooks. So I have here one of the hooks that we make in the classes so that you can get an idea. So this is, will you hold it up, please? So this is one of the hooks that we make. The first class is called an S hook. So there's actually, you can hook it on and you hang up your plant on it, or you can, hang something else. I mean, you can do endless things with that. Some people turn this hook around, and they use it like this on the wall, and they use it to, as a curtain rod holder, like to hold their curtains down. There's just so many things you can do with our hooks. So the first class, we do a hook study, and as simple as that sounds, you learn so much in that first class by making the series of hooks. You learn, all the safety features. You learn about how to draw metal to a point, how to handle the metal, how soft the metal is. You learn how to make spades. You learn how to twist metal, how to work with round metal, how to work with square metal. So this is a square metal. So, you know, that it was a square hook. There's just so much that you learn. So after the first class, you know, people can come out making something as intricate or simple, I guess, as this. This is Doug has a video. If you look up on YouTube, if you look up Doug Lockhart or Danielle Chamberlain, you'll find the YouTube video where they're starting to post some more videos. We're trying to be more diligent about posting videos with things we make. So this was a copper hairpin that Doug and Danielle are making now in the shop. And after the first class, you were able to make this. So that's how much you learned. Along with the classes, we have gift certificates. So for those hard to find people that you don't know what to get them, whether they're male or female, young or old, it makes a great gift because I'll tell you a story that we have a lot of people that surprise their family members with this gift. Some of them surprise them until they show up and walk into our shop. So we had a mom-daughter that came to our shop one day, and she surprised her daughter. Her daughter walks in dressed really nicely, and we all looked at her like, do you know that you're coming to a blacksmith class? Because she was dressed, you know, too pretty and nice and fancy. And when she walked in, she says, oh my goodness, I'm doing a blacksmith class. She goes, I'm used to it. My mom surprised me all the time, but I really thought I was going to get a pedicure today. So that was quite a shocking day, but she ended up making beautiful hooks and really proud of her work at the end of the day. So if you're, you know, looking for a gift for someone that's hard to get something for, that they already have something, a gift certificate makes it really nice too. They can use it for a class or towards product in our shop. I was going to show you some of the things that we make other than, you know, the hairpin. We can make pretty much anything, but I was going to show you this beautiful piece. If you can see it, it's a ginkgo leaf. We all love ginkgo leaves and ginkgo trees. So Doug made a bronze pin right there that I love. He also made, that's out of bronze, and then he also can make it with iron. So he doesn't just work with one medium of iron. He makes, you know, he works with steel and iron, and he works with copper, bronze, and he does some silver too, some stainless steel. So for example, he made a simple bracelet with stainless steel. Danielle's going to be the one showing you the little pieces that I have, just so you get an idea that Doug doesn't have any boundaries, so to speak. He just makes a lot of things. The next item that Danielle's going to show you, this used to be a spoon. So Doug flattened it, textured it like a leaf, and then he turned it, you know, made a lot of hammer marks on it and turned it into a bracelet for me. So never ever invite a blacksmith over to dinner and give him real silverware, because he may, if he likes your silverware, he may walk off and make some jewelry with it. There's also, you know, all kinds of jewelry that you can make, bracelets. Obviously, he, you know, showers me with a lot of gifts and jewelry all the time, because he's learned not to come to me and ask me if the client liked this bracelet, because I'll put it on my wrist, walk away and go, nope, you better make him another one. It's kind of fun to do that when he's asked me, so he's learned not to ask me. I wanted to show you some of the things that the students make in our class. One of our classes is a railroad spike knife. So after the first class, one of our intermediate classes is a railroad spike knife. And this is one of the knives that the students will make. If you turn it on the other side, it has our emblem. If you notice, there's a heart with a keyhole in it. So that is, I'm sorry, she's trying to hold it correctly without cutting herself, because it is a sharp knife. So this is a knife that is made in the blacksmith class, and it's you know, very sharp. Obviously, you can make it very sharp, and that's made from a railroad spike. That's probably our most popular class. If you have a chance, you can go onto our website, and I'm sure Cheryl can put this at the end of the recording, or we can say it at the very end. we have a Facebook page where Danielle posts videos and pictures of a lot of the things that we make. We obviously don't post everything that we make because every day is something different. We're working on some things for Rogue Fitness Center right now. They are an outfit in Columbus, big company that does some strongman competition a lot with Arnold Schwarzenegger, and they do competitions in Scotland also. So the neat story behind that is that Doug Lockhart is Scottish. His Scottish descent, has led him to do this research about his family history. And being a Lockhart, he realized that with the history he did is that there was a king that in Scotland that had died, and he was so loved by the people that they carried his clan, Doug's clan, carried the king's heart to many battles, and so with a lock and key. So that's how they became the Lockharts. And so Doug made that emblem for our family business. I don't know if you can see it pretty well there, but there's it's a Lockhart. So there's a heart with a keyhole in it, not realizing that that had already been in the family crest many, many years ago. So that's kind of a neat background with our logo and our stamp that he stamps everything with. Did you take a picture? We're gonna try to show you, we just finished 2 60-pound picks. Well, Danielle can maybe describe this one better.
Okay. Rogue Fitness, they do a lot of strongman competitions. This particular one that we're making these pickaxes for are going to California. So, and they have to be there, I believe, in 2 weeks for this competition. So we're very crammed on timing here to make these and get them over there in time. But these pickaxes aren't your normal pickaxe. They are 60 pounds and humongous. I can't pick them up. Well, one, I'm pregnant, very pregnant, and that probably wouldn't be very safe. But my husband, he's pretty strong, if I do say so myself, and he could only hold it out the way that they're going to use these in the competition, which is straight out in front of him. He could only hold it out for, I think, 3 seconds. It was a really short amount of time, but the point of the competition for this particular thing is they have to hold it out in front of them for as long as they can, and it should be pretty impressive. I don't understand sometimes the sports that strong people do, but if it's something that brings you joy, I stand behind you, and I'm glad to be a part of making it, I guess. But so these are, I'm not sure if you'll be able to see it, but those are the pickaxes. Let's see. Oh yeah, they can see it pretty well. Anyway, it's about almost as tall as I am, and it's 60 pounds. So we had to make them to be equally matched, which was challenging, but we're always up for a challenge. And yeah, they're very, very heavy. But for Rogue Fitness, we do a lot of other things as well. It kind of started, there's a man that's local here that owns a hardware store. And they've been in business for a long time. It's called Slater's Hardware in Lancaster, Ohio. If you ever want to stop there, I definitely recommend it. It's quite the old-timey store, but it's family owned. And our friend, Steve Slater, he's very in with Rogue Fitness and does a lot of work with them because he also is a weightlifter himself. And anyway, he came to us because he knew we were blacksmiths, and he said, I have an idea for part of the competitions for these Rogue Fitness competitions, and I want to see if you can make them. And they were going to sell them for people to train with. And we thought, oh, sure, we'll join in and see what we can do. Well, it's been about a year now, and we've made thousands of these. We thought for sure we would only make, I don't know, 300 a year, but that we were really blown away, and they've kept our family extremely busy. So we make, let's see, we make kettlebell handles and all kinds of forged things for them and to be used for training in their competition. They also have these Denny rings, which is a whole nother story. But anyway, we do a lot of work for Rogue Fitness, but we also do a lot of custom work for local people and people in other states that find us and like our work. But so we do anything from handrails to decorative lighting to fireplace screens, fireplace tools, obviously our skillets. We do bird feeders, bathroom decor, just really anything you can think of is what we do. My mom's wanting me to show you this picture of something I entered into a competition up in Troy, Ohio. It's a large blacksmith roundup where blacksmiths from, well, you don't even have to be a blacksmith, but blacksmiths from all over the world come to this Troy, Ohio. Is it Troy? Yeah, and it's called Southern Ohio Forge and Anvil. And if you're ever wanting to be around a bunch of blacksmiths and see some really cool things, I suggest going to see that. It's in Troy, and I believe it's the third weekend of September every year, but I'm sure you can look it up. But this is what I entered into their competition one year. I made a peacock. Let's see, how can I? There you go. I made a peacock for my grandmother as a kind of birthday gift, and it was about this big, and I really enjoyed making it, of course, because I love my grandmother and wanted to make her something nice, but it was fun to enter into competitions as well. But anyway, we do all kinds of things, and we really love working with metal. I think I'm running out of things to say, but if you have any questions, I'd be glad to answer them. Maybe I can touch on other things as well. We do, one thing we really specialize in is riveted bridge repair. So we do a lot of bridge restoration, and it's kind of a niche thing. There's not very many people in the United States that do this or that are certified with the states, because we do travel to different states and also have bridge pieces that are dismantled. They're shipped here on large trucks, and it's pretty neat to see a large truck coming down our gravel road, our one-lane gravel road with these huge bridge members, and we take them into our shop and restore them and rivet them, which is a whole art and technique in itself, but that's another one of our passions, is doing that.
I'll show you another. Danielle has a lot of these on the Facebook page, and you guys can go look on the Facebook page on all the pictures. But I also wanted to tell you, right in your backyard, you have the Zorville Station Bridge. Doug restored it back in, I believe it was 2006. So it's been a few years back, but that entire bridge came through our shop. And the first lady at that time, during that time in 2006, came into our shop and actually did 2 riveting hot rivets into the bridge. So that was kind of neat. Miss Hope Tapp. But it was an incredible project, and it's right in your backyard. So look it up. It's called the Zorville Station Bridge. There's information on our website about it. It's probably, you might be surprised, it's probably within walking distance for some of you guys. But that was a big project for us, and we, have gone to South Carolina to do a dam. We did some hot riveting on a dam, hydroelectric dam for Duke Energy. And so we did, and then fixed an entire gate, something that was riveted 100 years ago, and only certain rivets needed to be replaced.
It was quite the project, because I think we replaced around 500 rivets on this this gate, and the really interesting part of our job is the things we get into is the gate that they were using to block the water while we restored this gate was squirting water out like a waterfall. So it was pretty intense. You know, you're standing on a scaffolding and handling hot metal and passing it across, and you've got all of this harness on so you don't fall, and it was pretty interesting. But yeah, we did it all, and we just kind of turned our head and just pretended that we didn't hear the water gushing behind us, because it was pretty intimidating to think, you know, what if that gate didn't hold up? All of that water would just wash us right down. But it was safe. It was just a little bit alarming, but it was fun, and we all really enjoyed it. And riveting is such a special thing that is such an old way of doing things. I mean, it's like a weld, but it lasts for years. I mean, this gate hadn't been touched since 100 years before, and the rivets that were used were still pretty decent, even though we were replacing a lot of them. But the ones that needed replaced before then, that were replaced with bolts, they were rusted out, and they'd only been on there for maybe 2 years. So that just goes to show, you know, that old technology of rivets lasts years, and the bolts just didn't hold up to time. It's truly impressive to see how you can take a piece of metal with a head on one side and then the other side, and it's really impressive. But
Yeah.
anyway.
I just wanted to say, yes, that's what I wanted to say. If you have a question, unmute yourself. I put us on the gallery view so we look like the Brady Bunch right now. And I see Judy. Judy, you have a question, so go ahead and ask your question.
Hi, it's Cassie.
Oh, it's Cassie.
Yeah,
I'm
that's
sorry.
okay.
Judy's listening.
Judy's listening, actually.
Okay.
So here's our question. Is the heat transfer in the pans similar to cast iron?
You mean like on the bottom of the
The
skillet?
heat retention.
Yeah, I think we're looking at more the heat retention piece.
Okay, so let me tell you a story, because I'm Mexican by descent. I've lived here most of my life, but when I used to fry my tacos in a regular skillet, including a cast iron skillet, it takes me now 1/4 the time to cook it on our skillets. So it holds the heat very high, very well, because it's thinner than cast iron. And so it heats faster, it cooks faster. So my bacon gets done faster, my tacos get done faster, my eggs everything is done, gets done a lot faster. And you can use them on the top of the stove, you can use it in your oven, you can use it on the grill outside, you can use it just on a fire if you go camping and build a fire. That's what's the beauty about our skillets.
Okay, oh, that's really cool. So what is the, then the heat retention then, would you say?
Better than cast iron?
I guess if you're measuring better, worse, I'm about the same.
Better, much.
What's a cleaner?
And then
better. Heat up your skillet. You can heat up your skillet, throw an egg in there and turn it off, and then it'll just finish cooking.
Cool.
Your heat will just finish cooking it. You don't, you don't have to keep it on.
The other part I forgot to mention is we, as you know now, we are a family business, and we stand behind our work 100%. So as long as we're alive, the children and whoever else we train behind us, we do have, a lifetime guarantee on these. And as my dad says, unless it comes back to us with a tire mark run over it, we'll fix it for you.
Yeah, no, I think it sounds great, you guys. I have to tell you that. And the whole Zor thing is just fascinating. That's actually what got me intrigued. And when we saw the pans, it was an article in one of the local newspapers. So we truly appreciate that. So can you say, what's a cleanup? I mean, some of the cast irons, they say don't do anything besides wipe out and stuff. What's your cleanup? You know, because I'm all about maintenance.
Yeah. So I have cast irons that were passed on from family members. So I still love my cast iron, I still have it, but I have to be honest, I use our skillets now because it's so much faster. It's lighter, it's faster, it's better. I'm restoring my cast irons and keeping them nice, but I use our skillets on a daily basis. So as far as the cleanup, for those of you who are very particular about the cleanup, forgive me for what I'm about to say. Most people that are
I love you. I love you. It's good. It's all good.
Most people that are cast iron, people will say never, ever, ever put soap in it. If I cook salmon in my skillets, I don't want my eggs the next day to taste like salmon, or my veggies the next day, so if I feel the need to use soap, once you start using your skillet, I use hot water and soap if I need to. I just would say do not use stainless like scrubbies that are harsh steel, because you're going to scrub up your seasoning. But ours are already pre-seasoned.
Unless you're lightly scrubbing it, that's a different story. But if you got something stuck, you want to take the time to get it off delicately. And the best way to do that we've found is right after it's hot, right after it comes off of the stove, put some warm water on it and just let it set for a minute. And then you can, we have a couple different cleaning tools that we use, but you really can't go wrong. You can't mess it up.
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, it's very easy to bring back to seasoning. So say some people will say, oh, my husband left it outside, or my child cooked something in it and left it overnight or for a couple of days, or just for example. But they'll say it's rusty. And I mean, that's very simple to fix. It's not at all ruined. You just heat it back up and clean it a little bit, and then you can heat it up and put some oil, any kind of.
You can just use salt too to scrub it a little bit.
Any kind of oil, and then just bring it right back to how it was.
So I use this little brush. It's just a little brush that I bought at the store. It's like a bamboo brush, and it's just real soft bristles. It's very, very soft. So it's not harsh at all. So I started cleaning mine with those, and I thought, oh, that's just works lovely. I don't have to use something, a scrubby that's too rough. And then Danielle said, Mom, I got this for a wedding gift last year. So these are called chainmail.
Oh, I've seen those.
Okay, so these are amazing. They sell them in little round pieces or square pieces.
Yeah.
Small ones, large ones.
Just for skillets. You can use it on stainless steel bakingware and everything.
It's very soft. So when you run your hands through it, it's, it feels very soft. So I just put, anytime, like if I cook a lot of potatoes for a large, breakfast, sometimes I'll turn around and start doing something else, like, oh, I forgot to turn the potatoes, and then, they'll get crispy on the skillet. So as soon as I'm done, no problem. I add some hot water, put it on the in the sink, take this and just run it around the bottom. Perfect. Everything comes off. It does not take your seasoning off. It does not scratch it. It doesn't ruin anything. It's beautiful. I love these things. There is an American company. Yeah.
Thank you so much.
You're welcome. Yeah. So the cleaning's pretty simple. It's just like your cast iron, really. And you just want to dry it when you finish and put it back on the heat and rub a very thin amount of any kind of oil you prefer. I prefer not to use olive oil because it's sticky. So I either use Crisco afterwards to rub it, a very light coating of it after it's reheated back up before I hang it up. And then I will just wipe it again after I do that, because you don't want a lot of oil on it. I mean, like our skillets, I guess you saw them, they're black now because I've been using them. But when you first get it in, and a lot of people say, well, I would like to just put it in the oven and re-season it for so many hours, before I use it. That's fine if you want to do that, but they're already pre-seasoned. You can start cooking on it the day you get it in the mail.
Okay.
And then you every day that you cook on it, it gets darker and darker. And so the more you use it, it gets this beautiful patina black. just like your
Okay.
cast iron does.
Yeah.
So yeah, they're pretty easy to take care of.
Thank you so much, you guys.
welcome.
Thank you.
Thank you. Yeah.
Thank you.
When you
thank
showed
you.
us, when you showed us that roasting pan, all I could think of was like a paella in there, in the oven.
Yeah,
know,
yeah.
That looked,
The 12-inch, one that we have is perfect for paella. Fill it
Yeah.
up with,
great.
all the shrimp and yeah, it's
Oh,
perfect.
yeah.
It's also, I love the roasters. We make a lot of cornbread casseroles and we in them and in the oven. And we also have been making like peach cobblers or any kind of cobblers in the oven in them. So they're perfect for
So
that
good.
too. Yeah. You can do pancakes, work great in that. I make tortillas in mine. I mean, you can cook anything in them, you just.
The nice thing is it's so versatile and they're not like cast iron where if it's hot and you put cold water on it or something that it would just crack.
Mhm.
And with cast iron, once you get a crack in your cast iron, you can't fix it unless you send it to a very skilled professional that works solely on cast iron repair. Because we personally, I mean, we're blacksmiths and we can fix just about anything, but cast in particular, any kind of cast, not just cast iron skillets, but any kind of cast, you can't just weld it and hope it'll stay. It will continue to crack because that weld doesn't stick to the cast iron. So ours, you really can't mess it up. Like I said, it's pretty forgiving and of course, if you ever had any questions, you're welcome to call us and we'll do our best to help however we can. But we really enjoy them.
Do I have time, like a couple more minutes left?
Certainly you do. Let me just tell you this, that Paul is telling us that this is a very interesting program and he wants to thank the whole family for coming. And he asked about the bridge information. That was good.
Okay.
You might go out and find it. So that was
Okay.
great. Yeah, but
Okay.
sure, go ahead.
Great. Well, all right. So I have another quick story. I mean, there's stories when we should write a book on all the stories.
You should.
But this story is kind of neat also. We did a riveting that we got contacted by somebody in Arkansas, and it was in Little Rock, close to Little Rock, Arkansas. And they said, there's a bridge restoration that we'd like to know if you have an interest in helping us with. We said, sure. Well, the more we did the research, the more we found out about the bridge. When it was built in the 1800s, it was built and started by a Lockhart. So he built it so that people could cross this river, and he started charging people, and he actually had an inn there and everything, so for people to stay. So it was built by a Lockhart, William Lockhart. So here we are 100 years later, the Lockhart family, we're related. We had a family, we have a very good friend who's a genealogist who did some tracing back, and she said, yes, you're definitely related, not direct descendants, but you are related to the Lockharts there. And so if you ever watch the movie, what is the movie? I'll think of it in a minute, but there's a movie that they made that it has the picture of the video, the DVD for the movie has a picture of the bridge we worked on right on the front on the cover of the jacket. So we'll look it up in a second, but it was kind of neat because once the media, so what we did is we went and disassembled our family. They said, you guys have, 4 weeks to disassemble it. Our family went down there and, 4 other crew members that we hire for special jobs for riveting. And we disassembled it in how many days? 7?
Yeah, I think
7 days, 7 or 8 days instead of 4 weeks.
It was a 2-span truss bridge.
Yeah. Yeah. And so we disassembled it all. We did the tagging, dismantling, the tagging, the cataloging, and we cataloged all the damage on the bridge. So now they've raised all the money. They did all kinds of grants. So now they have enough money for the restoration part and re-erecting this bridge, which is a very historical bridge in Arkansas, close to Little Rock. And
It's called the Old River.
Yeah, it's called the Old River Bridge. And so that's kind of the project that we're working on also. I have it on the. So
What's the name of the movie?
maybe we'll let Doug tell this story. So when he says he just walked in, he can come in and say hello. Well, we're gonna move aside. We're gonna let Doug and David sit here for a second. This is almost over, Doug, but can you just tell them about the bridge in Arkansas? Because we told them a little bit about everything. We're talking to Cheryl at the Dover Library. So maybe you and David can sit down for a second and meet some of her people, because she's recording it and putting it on her library for a month.
Hi, Cheryl.
Tell her about the Arkansas Bridge. I started telling you.
So good to meet you two.
Hi, nice to meet you too. Where are you?
We're in Dover, Ohio.
So, White Ridge, did she tell you about that? Did Bertie tell you about that one in Zor?
Yeah, she was telling us about it. Yes.
So that was the first bridge that we restored, but the bridge in Arkansas is pretty interesting because we don't normally cross the Ohio River because it's just too far to go. Have you ever been to Arkansas?
No.
It's not hard to get there. What you do is you just go, there's a road goes up to Columbus and it goes southwest, and you get on it and you go until your legs swell up and your butt gets numb. And then if you drive 4 more hours, you'll be right in Little Rock.
Is that 75? What?
Who cares? It's just way too far to go. So anyway, we went down there. We drove 195 hours straight. I don't know how long it took us to get there, but when we got there, this bridge actually, if you get a DVD called Sling Blade with Billy Bob Thornton, on the very front movie jacket is a picture of this bridge, and he's standing on it.
Oh.
And it's the second oldest bridge in the state. That's what makes it so important. But the story gets even crazier because we went down there and we took it off the river, we mapped it and disassembled it and stacked it ready for restoration. And they're getting ready to get a grant for restoration. So that's the next phase. So then we find out that we're going to jump back in time to 1812. There was a guy over in Virginia, and he told his wife, he says, I'm tired of living in Virginia, and I heard there's free land out west. Let's go get some. And she said, okay. And so if it took me 196 hours to drive at 80 miles an hour, I have no idea how long it takes to walk to Arkansas.
10 years.
Yeah, at least a year or two or whatever. So, so they they're walking and they're in a wagon, and they finally cross this river called the Saline River. And she says, Jim, I'm done. I'm not going anymore. He says, okay, I understand. So he built a little inn for people to stay in, and then he started a ferry business where he'd help people across the river. Come to find out, his name is James Lockhart, or William Lockhart. And we did a family genealogy and come to find out that he is related, only but through an obscure way, kind of uncles or something like that, but he is a relation. So the interesting part of that story is that, you know, the reason that that bridge is there and that crossing is there is because of him. And then 150 years later, his ancestor comes to tear it down and restore it and get it back in shape. So that's pretty, we went and bought a lottery ticket because the odds of that happening is just too crazy.
Right. That's awesome. Just awesome. Well, you guys do a great job there. The ladies have shown us all of the things that you make and the creativity and the beauty of it. It's just, it's amazing. It's very nice. Yeah.
So how come we're doing this and you're not coming and visiting?
Well, I actually, when I first contacted you, I said that I wanted to do some programs like this because now that we're coming out of the pandemic, I mean, you know, we're freer to move around. It's within a day trip of where we are. So that's what I'm hoping, that people will be like inspired and encouraged to go and find out where you are and enjoy the scenery of the Hocking Hills, because people know it here. People go there. Judy, do you want to say something?
Yep. Hi, it's Cassie again.
Oh, Cassie,
Hi,
I'm so
guys.
sorry.
Hey,
Judy just feeds her questions.
Judy just feeds me questions. But,
Okay.
you know, we appreciate all of the craftsmanship and hard work you guys are doing. So is there an actual gift shop, or is it all mail order?
No, there's actually a gift shop, but we don't have too much in the way of inventory because we mostly do custom work.
Gotcha.
But we do have skillets, a whole set of skillets that are on display, and we have inventory. That's really what we're trying to do. Actually, tomorrow is handle day. We're making 975,000 handles. How many are we making? We're making a lot. I don't know how
Let's
many.
not exaggerate.
Hey, here's to that, baby.
David just finished 100 bowls today. So we cleaned up and finished the bowls ready for handles. So tomorrow is handle day. Anyway, we have that. We have a bunch of hooks, and we have a number of things in the gift shop you can come
Okay.
and see.
Hey,
But the
nothing
other
like a
cool
road
thing-
trip.
That's
Nothing
what I
like a
say.
road trip from New Philly.
Yeah.
Yeah, the other cool thing is that you can actually just walk into the shop and see us working and, meet the craftspeople. That's pretty
Cool.
rare too.
Thank you.
No, and I think,
You're welcome.
I think you guys are obviously unique people because you live the way you're living. You're doing the blacksmithing, but you have your farm as well and a greenhouse. So the kind of people that you attract that comes to see you are also going to be very interesting, people, or they wouldn't make that trip to see you. So I think that's great.
That's a great point, Judy, because I've said this a number of times in the past few months. This is Carol?
Cheryl.
Cheryl. Why did it say Judy on there?
Well,
Do I have
you
to put
see-
my glasses on?
no, you don't have to put your
Okay.
glasses on. You just keep talking.
Okay, Cheryl, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
All right. We're changing your name. But listen, in the past couple months, I've said this. I'm very uncomfortable living in what we're living in today. A lot. So we used to have this little magnet on the refrigerator that said, what did it say? It said, be the change you want to see or something or whatever.
Yes.
And so I've decided that I'm going to create a world that I want to live in. And so what that is a world where we are good people, we attract good people, we shake your hand, we treat you right, we do more than you ask us to do. And so that's why we attract those kind of people. And
Sawmill.
what does a sawmill have to do with what I was just saying?
Because you're good people.
Oh, good. Yeah, we're good people that
with
run a sawmill. We have a sawmill. We do it all. Yeah. This isolation has really been kind of not hard on us either because we just don't leave. We do it all.
Oh my gosh.
Well, it's just during this pandemic, there's been a lot of uprisings in material costs for a lot of things, such as metals and wood. And it's been, for a lot of other people, it's been a major, I don't even know what you call it, basically a
Financial
catastrophe.
struggle.
Yeah, financial struggle, and just, so thankfully with the sawmill and a lot of other resources we have around here, it's been no problem trying to adapt and make new things out of, one day Doug and I are just talking and we need a new building or just a few boards to replace something. He's like, well, guess today we're going out in the woods, gonna drag a tree, gonna cut some boards and fix something up real quick. And it's just gonna make a day project of it instead of running to the store.
How many people are watching this? Just sat down. We just came in from the shop. Nobody said your hair's messed up.
Oh my goodness. Well, that shows that you're a working man and that's fine. How hot does it get out there?
Dang hot.
Good answer.
Yeah. Most of the time it's dang hot.
Oh, yes.
Sometimes it's really dang hot. Like 2 days from now, we have another big job where we're making, we have all the forges running and it just gets incredibly hot in the shop.
Average, I guess, would be about 100, 110 with all the forges running and everything.
Right.
Sometimes hotter depending on the humidity outside and trying to keep the fans going and circulate air, but yeah.
I keep telling them people pay money to go to the gym, to sweat and work out. And I'm paying him to sweat and work out. So quit griping. You don't know how good he's got it.
Cassie?
Okay, you guys, we're appreciating you. You guys should have a show. You get that, right? Yeah. So, yeah. Anyway, how do you fuel the forges?
We use coal and gas. We use coal because it's been the way that it's been done for a long time. There's a romance to it, there's a simplicity to it, but there's also a forgotten aspect of it that I'm trying to keep alive. So we both have coal forges, and then we do smaller, okay, this is odd. We do big jobs in the coal forge, but they're smaller quantities. If we're doing production work, we use gas. We
Okay,
use propane. So those forges are just like standing, working in the back of a jet engine, I mean, they're just a blast furnace, and you'll see when you come.
okay, all right, thank you.
And Paul wants to know if you guys did anything on the bridge restoration at Station Road Bridge in, it says CVNP. I'm not sure where that is.
What state? Are we talking Ohio still?
I don't know. Paul, do you want to unmute yourself and ask us that question?
Oh,
Or
I
type
thought
it
I-
in?
I thought I did. I'm sorry. That's in Cuyahoga Valley National Park in Ohio. It's the only national park we've got here. It's up by Cleveland.
The
Was it a new
Cuyahoga
bridge or an
Valley.
old bridge?
Yeah, it's in the Cuyahoga Valley. There's,
It does sound familiar, but I'm just wondering if it was a restoration or was it through the Park Service? Because we did a brand new suspension bridge up there in Cuyahoga County, didn't we? Paul, we'll get back to you.
yeah, this is not a suspension bridge. It's a link, I think.
It's a what? An old bridge?
It's an old bridge, and it was linked design, I think.
Yeah, I'm not sure that was something we worked on. But if it needs work, please pass our name out that we can help. If it needs restoration.
Okay,
Okay.
that's awesome. Anything else you would like to add? There's so, it is fascinating, I think, and I really, in reading about you on your website and in other places, people who do blacksmith work really appreciate and value what you guys do there at the Lockhart Forge, because you guys, I think, are well known in your field. That's what I can tell from reading about you, that you're well known in your field for what you do, and you do a great job, and you're so creative, and obviously with a sense of humor like you have, must be no wonder people can go for 8 hours and love it, every minute of it, because, hey, good to be around nice people and good people and learning something new, right?
What was the TV thing we just did? Spectrum. Did they tell you about Spectrum News?
Yes.
Well, that article came out, and or that interview came out, and that was very well done. And
It's on our Facebook page. People can go see it.
yeah, I just have a real passion to be able to inspire young people. I think young people have really gotten a raw deal. They've taken shop out of the schools.
Right.
Kids don't have anything to do. They don't have a way to express themselves. They don't know how to dream. And so I'm really trying to just touch. Last Saturday, we had 214. And if we get young boys and young girls, I just really gravitate towards them, trying to inspire them just to do something creative and long lasting with their hands. So I think that's a unique way that we teach.
Right.
We don't do it really for the money. We just do it for the passion, and just trying to pass that passion.
Right. And there's such a value in teaching students to just enjoy, like, they did that at our school too, took the wood shop away, and some kids just really want that and need that in their lives to be able to create something with their own hands. And there's such a sense of satisfaction from it. And we're robbing those kids of that opportunity. So
Good news, we had some rural kids in our school not too long ago, and they mentioned that they were getting shop tools put back in. So apparently somebody realized what a mistake this was and what it's done to 8 or 10 graduating classes. So there's going to be a little gap there, but at least they realize the importance of that.
Right. Well, that's what I taught Spanish at my high school for 30 years, at the high school I graduated from. And I always tell my students, not everybody is cut out to be a book learner, but don't let that stop you. And I said, and if you don't know what you want to do, try to get a job somewhere with someone, stand alongside them, see what you like. And you can make a living off of that. And it doesn't have to be the cookie cutter idea that everybody puts in our head. You know, everybody has their own path. And I think
You're right.
that is very true. What you're doing kind of shows them a way.
Yeah, that's very odd. Bertie just mentioned that's the first teacher librarian that's ever said that, because we're very big in apprenticeship and the power that's behind that. So
Absolutely.
I don't think, I mean, no, everybody learned, no. And I went to an art school, and, you know, I learned how to drink massive amounts of beer in a very short time. And, you know, I could have got a degree in that. And I wasted, well, is there little kids watching this?
I don't think so. We're all adults.
All right, but the point is, I think if you want to be a surgeon, you should probably take some like night classes or something. But I just think that there's great value in apprenticeship and in any trade. And I do think that's why that our kids are so good at what they do, is because when I started working with them, they entered the field at a 25 or 30 year level and then built on that. Instead of starting from ground level and get it, taking years to get there. So apprenticeship programs are really very important, and they're being overlooked. We had a machinist in our class Saturday, and one of the saddest things to me is going to an antique shop and seeing machinist chest with all the little drawers and all the machinist tools laid out and wiped down and oiled, and nobody knows how to use them anymore because we rely on computers to do that now.
Yes.
And it's very sad because people don't know how to use those tools. And,
Right.
it's just one more thing that's going to be pushed aside and forgotten.
Well, and I think, one thing we were talking earlier about, the pandemic seemed to take away or confine us, but it also helped us grow in different ways. And I think one of the things that it taught us is, we need to be a little bit more self-sufficient in the way we live. We need to be able to, I personally am a bookworm, and I regret that I don't have more experience. My dad should have had me out there when he worked on the car, because I would have probably learned a lot, and I would feel better about, now I have to depend on somebody else for that, and I'm not saying that's bad, but it is good for kids to get out and experience different things, because at such a young age, how do they know what they like or want to do for the rest of their life? If they
Right.
don't have the experience, except everybody pushing them to go to school. Oh, go ahead.
I just wanted to say I started learning beside Papa when I was 13 because my mom married him, and there's a very cool story behind that, but I won't get into it. But
Why? We got nothing to do. We're done. We're done with work.
I started learning. I was 12 when they got married, but I was 13, and I just wanted to. I know I say this all the time, but I really just wanted to be a good kid and just be helpful the best that I could with my family, because I really thrive on that kind of living. Anyway, so I was 13, and I just was following him around in the shop and saying, give me something to do. So he started showing me different things, and I think at first it was kind of like, okay, yeah, I guess I'll show you something. And then he noticed that I wasn't just doing it because I was bored. He noticed I had an interest, and he just slowly started to teach me more things. And ever since
You were
then,
actually being a help
Yeah.
a little bit.
well, I I'm now 26. I'll be 27 soon, and I hope that I can teach these same things to my child and kind of give her that same love and passion for being intentional with everything you do in life, because we definitely live that way on the farm. Well, one, because you have to, but two, because we really do enjoy living this lifestyle. And I think because he sort of instilled that in me when I was 13, I can now appreciate it a little better as an adult. So yeah, that resonates with me, because I grew up in Tampa, Florida with my mom, and it was quite the switch going from Tampa, Florida, busy streets, and you have to be careful where you ride your bike because you may get hit by cars,
Right.
When we first moved here, I was not used to not having street lights, and it's just a stop sign. I don't even think we had a light, for the traffic in the town. So yeah, we went from a 4-story library in Tampa to a very small town library, but I really did well with that switch, and I know some kids don't take well to going from city life to country life, but for me it was really enjoyable because I got to finally be homeschooled and like I said, follow whatever Papa and Mom wanted to teach me for the day. Homeschool, you can be pretty versatile in that way, but yeah, we've done all kinds of things. We can a lot. I grow a lot of our herbs ourselves, and we have all kinds of flowers, and it's just a special way of living that I'm very thankful for, that I appreciate now. So I think teaching kids that young is important.
And you said it so beautifully, really. You said it very beautifully. You put it into words in a way that everybody can understand. And I think the people who are here tonight, we all agree with that. There's something to be said.
When we have our school, the girls make a lunch, a full meal.
Yes.
We have them in the house, and people are so blown away by that. The fact that we all sit down and eat, and it's not a cold cut sandwich or store-bought meal, and homemade bread, and it's quite a package, the experience they get. And I think that's one, people are just, we're so separate today because of this pandemic. It's made people afraid of their own shadows and other people. And when we treat people like people, they really open up and respond to that.
Yeah.
Also, people come here and they go in.
This is my wife, Birdie.
Yeah. So people come here when they take the classes or are in the shop, and they come into the house to see some of the ironware in the house, because I have it all over, thank goodness. And I love it. I go and steal it from the shop and bring it into the house. But they come in and they say, "Oh, you have a washer, but you don't have a dryer." I go, "Oh yeah, we have a solar dryer." They're like, "Well, can I see it?" And I go, "Sure." So we take them on the porch and show them my clothesline.
The clothesline.
Yeah, we hang up our laundry all year long. In the winter we hang it up indoors because we have our heater on. And in the summertime, anytime it's sunny, even in the winter, we hang it up outside. And
yep, my mom did the same thing.
It's so awesome to hang up.
Yeah.
And that smells so nice, the sun smell. And yeah, we enjoy living out in the country a lot.
I think one more thing about the classes that I think is very special too is that we get people from all sorts of different backgrounds, different places, where I would never in my life on an average day stop and talk to this person and just have a full-blown conversation. And yet they come to this place and they meet each other, and the first hour alone, when they're all bunched together, they're just like, "Oh, okay, I'll stay in my little spot, whatever, and not bother you." But then by lunchtime, they are basically friends, fast friends. And it's hilarious because some will exchange numbers and keep in contact. They find out, "Wait a minute, you don't even live that far from me. We could have carpooled," or something like that. We've had some people that have come and didn't even know that they lived down the street from another student until they came here, and then they were 2 hours away, which was pretty comical. But it's been a lot of friendships, and it's amazing.
That's wonderful.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, well, he didn't finish the story. Old Jubal here takes the class and he's like, oh, I can't get this. Can you help me? And the instructor that day was Danielle, my daughter. He kept messing up, so she would come over and help him. And so then he's never left. This is the one student that's never left. He's still here.
Oh, that's hilarious.
I wish I could say it was
That's
all on
true.
purpose,
That's
but
not,
it wasn't.
that's not. Yeah, he found.
I guess it just happened and it was meant to be.
Mhm.
It's
It
true.
was.
It's true. It couldn't have been more perfect. I will say that.
That's awesome. That's awesome. Well, I do hope to come down and see you guys because this has been wonderful, really. Such a, you know, already we've only been here how long and we already feel like we're good friends. So you
That's
guys,
the kind of
yeah,
people we
it's
are.
wonderful. Well,
Yep.
True.
we won't keep you. I did put in the chat box for those of you who are looking. I put, you know, the website. It's, you know, the makers of handforgediron.com. So you can
Yes.
look that up. Just look up Lockhart Ironworks online
Or
and on
amazing
Facebook.
blacksmith.
Or His
Very-
Royal Highness.
Very cool people.
Very
We come
cool
up under
people.
all of that.
Okay.
Yeah, yeah.
Well, that's
Very
great.
easy to find.
I thank you so much. Yes,
Thank
Bertie.
you, and people can contact us through the website. Our phone numbers, of course, is 740-380-6816. They can contact us on Facebook, on our website. They can email us at lockhartironworks@gmail.com. And we'd love to hear from you because, we like meeting new people, and come for the day. Don't just come for the weekend. Do you know how much there is to do in Hocking Hills? You can go zip lining for an afternoon. You can go canoeing. You can go fishing. You can go hiking. You can come to a blacksmith shop. You can go to a glass blower shop. There's so much to do here. You can spend 3 or 4 days and not be here for 1 minute.
Right. And have a nice change of pace, a relaxing change of pace out in the fresh air and yeah.
And if you do get bored, we've got work here.
So I shouldn't wear my high heels and a
No.
white shirt. Is that what you're telling me?
Go to Tractor Supply and get muck boots and come visit.
Oh, I have some actually.
There you
So,
go.
okay.
You're
And
set
you'll
up.
loan me a black, like an apron, right?
Yeah, and a pitchfork.
Hey, you know what?
A hoe.
It doesn't sound all bad. I'll just bring a clothespin, right?
Our chicken coop and everything is so clean, you wouldn't be able to smell anything in there anyway. Yeah, we
Okay.
keep everything really cleaned up.
All right.
These guys do a great job.
I bet. Yeah. Well,
Yeah.
it's a family thing. You all do a great job.
Yes.
I
Yeah,
can't tell you how honored and privileged we are to have you tonight. Thank you so much for coming, and we'll hope people view the video and come, the recording and come and see you. And I hope so too. I hope to
Awesome.
get there to
Yeah.
meet you in person.
Thank
would
you.
be awesome.
Absolutely.
Thank you
Thank you
everyone
so
for
very
coming.
much, everybody.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Thank you,
Bye.
Cassie. Bye, Judy. Bye, Sheila. Bye. Thank you so much, everybody.